Okay, this is a level check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, board okay. Inputs and outputs okay. And that should be fine. So if you're watching on YouTube and getting ready for the 7:15 p.m. streaming weather show, I have ready to go. Same thing for YouTube. YouTube will start on its own in a minute.
Tornado warning for Ripley County.
Go, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, and for everybody watching, meteorologist Ashley Smith, who is working with me tonight, just came in and informed me that there's a tornado warning out now for Ripley County, Indiana, part of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. And we will be live here in just a minute. I've got to push a couple more buttons, and we will have everything ready to go around the tri-state. So, again, a tornado warning was just issued for Ripley County in southeast Indiana. We'll find out more about that in just a second here. All right, so okay, it is 7:15, time to go live. And let's see here. I'm trying to get to the part that we need the most right now, and essentially that is a look at the tornado watch. The tornado watch is in effect right now for all those areas in red, and if you take a look at the Fox 19 Now viewing area, and we're going to box zoom into that, you can see it doesn't include all of our counties. And what I'm trying to do here, I'm getting a couple things arranged because all of a sudden a tornado warning just was issued. That tornado warning in effect for Ripley County in southeast Indiana, and I'm going to turn that on right now, and there you see it. Okay, we're going to zoom into that. That in the northern part of Ripley County, north of Versailles. The warning, if you're watching, does not include the city of Versailles. Until I zoom in, I'll be able to give you okay, so it's just outside of Versailles. Versailles is just north of where you see Johnson at that intersection, basically there. And so that's a tornado warning for Ripley County, Indiana. I'm going to turn off the lightning because it's just in the way. Okay, and you can see that strong storm right there in the northern part of Ripley County, Indiana. Okay, so let's take a look at what this tornado warning is all about. And the tornado warning includes Batesville, Holton, Laufrey, Napoleon, parts of Franklin and Ripley counties included in this. Hail size less than 3/4 of an inch, and it's a radar indicated tornado. So it's a tornado warning based on rotation showing on radar, and that is in effect for Batesville, Holton, Laufrey, and Napoleon, Indiana, excuse me. That's parts of Franklin and Ripley counties. Hail, it's not going to be an issue, small hail, and this is a tropical system, so hail is pretty rare on that. And they do see radar indicated rotation in that particular storm. I think we can probably take a look at that here. And again, hi there everybody, I'm Steve Horstmeyer, Chief Meteorologist here at Fox 19 Now, and now we've got it on the screen the way it should be. Okay, so the National Weather Service just issued a tornado warning for parts of Ripley and Franklin counties. Now let me readjust this map here a little bit, and we'll get a better handle on this. We're going to probably spend pretty much time talking about this particular system itself. And I'm going to turn off the precipitation for just a few seconds, and then we'll go back to looking at that precipitation. But I want to be able to show you exactly where the tornado warning is. Okay, so the tornado warning is in effect now for the northern part of Ripley County. It does not include Old Milan. It does not include Johnson, and right in here is Versailles. So Johnson and Versailles not included. Napoleon's included. And so if you're in the northern part of Ripley County, if you're anywhere inside this purplish pink box, you're included in that. And they've also included the community of Batesville, Indiana in that. Batesville is kind of in that area of Franklin and Ripley counties. Right there along Interstate 74. And so, again, these are tornadoes that are caused by broad-scale rotation in a tropical system. They typically don't last very long. They typically aren't that very strong. Typically, a tornado in a situation like this is an EF0 or an EF1. And in this case, We don't have any information on that at all, but we'll put the precipitation back on. Okay, and what you see there is you can see essentially the kind of hook echo. Now let me zoom in on this a little bit more. We'll get a better feel for where it is. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go around and take a look at several different ways of looking at this. So first of all, we're going to look at the velocity, okay? And it'll take a second here and it'll turn over to the velocity. And what we look for when we're talking about one of these is we're looking for a change from green to red. So right in here is where the tornado would be. You see it just updated, okay, right there. So here's the red, here's the green, and right in this area here is where the tornado is. And if you're looking at Ripley County, that's to the northwest of Osgood, okay, to the northeast of Holton, and south and west of Napoleon, Indiana. And that, what happens here is that Doppler radar tells you the direction that the wind is blowing. Okay, so green is toward the radar, and this is the Wilmington radar. So green here, the green you see here, indicates winds blowing this way. The red indicates winds blowing away from the radar. That's this way. And so if you've got air blowing this way, air blowing this way, this is the circulation of where the tornado is, or where they think the tornado is. And again, there's no ground confirmation on that, but if you look at it closely, you can see what the National Weather Service has seen here is. And I will circle it for you. Give me just a second here. Right in here is where the tornado would be if there is a tornado that touches down. Okay, and if we look at that, that would put that tornado to the south and east of Millhausen, to the south-southwest of Napoleon, to the east, or to the west-northwest of Osgood, Indiana, to the west of Route 421 over Ripley County, moving off to the north-northeast. So right now, that is moving in this direction, okay? And so that puts it moving toward the Batesville area. And if we move the map back down again, you'll see there's where Batesville is. So zoom out a little bit. And so right here, again, if you look at it, right here is the tornado, and that is moving, again, toward the northeast. So I'll circle it one more time. The tornado, or the potential tornado, the rotation is right there. It is to the west of Osgood, Indiana. It's moving to the north-northeast, and any time now it will be crossing Route 421 in Ripley County, and it will continue to head off to the northeast. It will move toward Ballstown, and then north and eastward up to Batesville. Both Ballstown and Batesville are included in the tornado warning. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit. Let's go back to, let's see if we have, now what we're going to do here, we're going to see if we have any debris out there. Okay, and I've got to find where the debris signature palette is. So, yeah, there we go, debris detection. Okay, and that'll load that. And what you're looking for, and we don't see, well, I don't see anything that looks like it could be debris from a tornado, but we do have the possibility right here that there's debris just from high winds associated with that. And so there's a chance that we've had a touchdown here. There's a chance that this is showing debris that's being blown up or picked up and lofted, as we say, by the tornado. But overall, not convincing evidence that a tornado has touched down in Ripley County, Indiana. All right, so again, this is our 7:15 live weather show. I happen to be setting this up and just about to go live when Ashley Smith ran in here and said there's a tornado warning in Ripley County. Ashley Smith is handling the on-air duty on Fox 19 now, and I am handling the duty here in the streaming center. I was already set up in just like a minute from going on with this. So there are the two ways you can get our information. We also have this streaming show, and I'm looking at a monitor here, and I see Ashley going live right there. So she's explaining that, and I'm here live on our streaming show. So we're reaching people in several different ways. Okay, you can get this streaming show on our 24-hour streaming channel. You can get this off of Roku, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Apple TV. You can get it off of our app. You can get it off the news app, and you can get it off of our website. There are a lot of ways you can get this, and we are trying our best to make sure that you get all the information you need. Okay, so that is debris detection. And when we're talking about debris detection, we're talking about debris that has been lofted. It can be leaves, it could be sticks, it could be in a big tornado, and this is not one of those. It could be parts of a house. And what happens is the radar beam, they send out a radar beam that's vertically oriented, and they send one that's horizontally oriented, and it can tell which direction those orientation is, and if the orientation doesn't match, then we know that there's debris up there. Raindrops, hailstones, all are pretty much the same, but when you have big sticks or logs or limbs going vertically, they look different than they do horizontally, and that's how we detect the debris. And this is where we see. Now let me go back to velocity here very quickly, and we'll see how that matches, okay? Okay, so right there. Okay, so here is where there is a potential tornado. Okay, so if you're in this part of Ripley County, Indiana, you're not in any danger of that tornado touching down in Osgood, okay? From Osgood, you go north along 421 and anywhere up to, now this is heading directly at Napoleon. So if you are near Napoleon, if you're a few miles south, if you're a few miles north, east, or west, if you're in the vicinity of Napoleon, Indiana, you should be taking cover immediately because there is the potential for a tornado touching down, causing damage, and putting your life in danger. Okay, so this is what we're looking at right here. Here's the red, here's the green, and those are the way that we shade the wind directions. Green is blowing toward the radar since we're using the Wilmington radar. Boom, it's going that way. Red is moving away from the radar, and so this is the circulation around Napoleon, Indiana, and that is telling us that is the possibility of a tornado right there. Okay. I've got to go check one thing here, so I'm going to put that on full screen while you're looking at it. See the bright green, north and west of Osgood, and then the dark red, south of Napoleon. That is the tornado, and it looks like that circulation, if something touches down, is heading just like this. It's going to cross 421 just south of Napoleon, Indiana. So if you're in Napoleon, if you're in Osgood, or if you're anywhere between Osgood and Napoleon near 421, be sure you take cover now. Don't wait. Take cover now. It's very important because even though this may just be a mini tornado, we don't know that for a fact, but if we are, again, talking about the possibility of significant damage and a life-threatening situation. And again, we still see that rotation is still there. And I'm looking on my other monitor. I'm watching Ashley Smith, and she is pointing out that same exact thing. She just circled it. So on Fox 19 now, meteorologist Ashley Smith is taking care of that. And if you've not watched Fox 19 much, Ashley did a great job a couple years ago during the Goshen tornado. She knows her stuff. She's a Penn State graduate of a tough and good meteorology program, and we are happy to have her here. So let's go back to debris detection. So right here, now, what I'm going to do, okay, now let's just go to debris detection and see. And again, typically what you would see is you would see more of a circular pattern. Now, oftentimes, when you see this pattern right here, what you're looking at, okay, now here, just updated for us, okay? And you're looking at, you're not really looking at debris in this case. If you look at it full screen, that is just more like stuff being blown about by the winds coming out of the thunderstorm. But right near Napoleon, there is that possibility that is debris. So if you are in the Napoleon area, you definitely want to take cover. Please take me seriously here. It looks like the circulation that might be causing a tornado is crossing 421. It is heading to the north and east. The next, on our map here, the next community that would be in line would be Ballstown as that heads towards 229. Okay, so there we go. Again, now let's go back to velocity. So this is debris detection. If we go back to velocity here, and you'll see that circulation does not correspond. Now, what I mean by the circulation is, let me open up a tool, do this. Okay, so the circulation where the green meets the red right here does not line up with what we saw debris detection. So typically what happens on a circulation of a thunderstorm is causing a tornado, you end up with inflow like this, okay? And that inflow eventually gets into the spiral updraft, okay? So the inflow, and so what we're looking at when we look at debris detection, we are looking essentially at air flowing into the storm. Okay, now again, I don't know if it's going to erase this, but let's see if it continues to, there we go, we kept it up. Okay, so right there is where the inflow is. So this is more than likely not indicative of a touchdown. However, right there to the southeast of Napoleon could very well indicate that there is a touchdown. So right in here, let's see, why won't it let me draw? Okay, so right in here, there could be a tornado on the ground. So just southeast of Napoleon, to the east now of 421, and that could be a tornado that's tilted. That could indicate debris being lofted by a strong circulation in the tornado. So let's go back to velocity, and we'll see where what progress has been made on the movement. Okay. Okay. So now it's beginning to look less and less like we may have a tornado. It's beginning. See, it's no longer a real narrow little area, but still, just to the south of Napoleon, just to the east of 421 is where there could be a tornado in the area. Okay, so I'm going to, once again, I'll outline it for you here. Draw it right in here. Okay. So you see 421 there, south of Napoleon. So again, as I mentioned a couple minutes ago, if you're in Napoleon, you should be taking cover immediately because this very well could end up being a tornadic thunderstorm. And again, based on what we see there in south and east of Napoleon, that circulation is moving off to the north-northeast. That circulation is moving then up toward Ballstown, Indiana, right there. So there it is. It's to the east of Napoleon. Now, although we have a couple indications here, it could be a very complex situation. There could be a couple of mini tornadoes with this. But overall, the greatest chance of there being a tornado touchdown is off to the east of Napoleon now. And again, that area is right in here. Okay. And as it moves to the north and east, the next place it's heading is toward Ballstown. So let's go back to sweeping radar. And you can see, okay, now remember I talked about inflow and outflow. So let me zoom out just a little bit. Nope, not in, out. And we will put a, go to the tool again so that I can draw. Okay, there's a lot going on here, as you can tell. I'm trying to keep track of with what the Weather Service is saying and all that other stuff. Okay, so you can see here's the inflow right here. The little notch, that's the inflow. And that's the stuff that eventually gets wound up in the tornado circulation and heads upward in the updraft. Okay, so you can see the inflow notch, as we call it. Okay, the inflow notch is right there. And right in here, right near Napoleon, between where it says 421 and Napoleon, if there's a tornado, that's where it would be. And if we change over now to our velocity tool, all right, if we change over to our velocity tool, okay, you can see that this is where the storm could be just, I mean, if you are in the southeastern suburbs of Napoleon, you're more than likely are getting strong winds and possibly a small tornado on the ground. So, and again, there's a lot of lightning with that as we look at it very, very, very closely. So again, if you were in Napoleon, if you're in Ballstown, Indiana, near 229, from 421 to 229, be sure you take cover immediately until the danger passes. Let me zoom out a little bit here, quite a bit as a matter of fact, and go back to sweeping radar instead of velocity, and you can see there are two cells. See how this is kind of a kidney shaped? You can see that, again, if we zoom in with the box zoom right here, you'll see the inflow notch that I just pointed out to you. Right there, where it says EON in Napoleon, that is the inflow notch, okay? And if we now go to velocity, right around the Napoleon, it should show that change in color. And again, we'll zoom back in. Okay, and you can see that most likely, if there's a small tornado, the circulation is showing it now off to the east of Napoleon. So if you're between Napoleon and Ballstown in Ripley County, Indiana, you want to make sure that you take cover immediately because that storm is heading to the north and east. I don't have any latest information from the National Weather Service, but it certainly looks like that warning continues. All right. So again, everybody, I'm Steve Horstmeyer, Chief Meteorologist here at Fox 19 Now. I was just about to start this 7:15 live streaming show, and the tornado warning came out for parts of Ripley and Franklin counties in Indiana. At the same time, meteorologist Ashley Smith was in taking care of the Cincinnati Reds. So she's on the air at Fox 19. I can see her right there on the air, and I am on the streaming channel going live here. Now, I tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch over quickly, and I'm going to send you back to full screen. We'll go back to traditional radar, so stuff that you are familiar with. It'll switch to that. We will zoom out a little bit, again, out. And look at that inflow notch there. I mean, you can just see that as plain as day. Every time I do something like this, I plan on doing something or following something up, but we get tied up in another discussion. So right in here is the inflow notch, okay? This is the inflow notch right there. That's the air flowing into the storm. Okay, and then as I mentioned before, and I didn't draw it any too well, what happens in the rotation of that updraft, it gets tied up, and eventually that becomes a tornado if there is enough energy available. Okay, if we go to our velocity tool now, when we look at the velocity tool, if I hit the right button, it'll be a lot easier. If we look at the velocity tool, we can see that, okay, if we zoom in again, let's do another box zoom, okay, and right in here, right in this area, I will draw it again. Right in this area is where there would be a tornado if there is one, okay? Now that, of course, is just south and west of Ballstown. So if you're in Ripley County, if you're in Ballstown, what you need to do is you need to take cover immediately until the storm passes. According to Ashley's display here, looks like it'll make it to Ballstown in 7:43, Batesville about 7:48. Okay, and I haven't forgotten about you guys, Batesville. I've just been talking about the places it's going to get to most quickly. Okay, so let me erase some of this stuff, begin to make a little bit more sense of it. We're going to go back to our regular radar display. We're going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, and get a little perspective on this. So the tornado, if there's a tornado, is right, okay, you see where the inflow notch is right where that, about where that inflow notch is. And I have to draw it again. So I will draw something on there for you. Give me just a second to get this set up. Okay, here we go. So right, if there's a tornado, the tornado is right in this vicinity. Okay, now, from what we know about tornadoes, in this case, it's moving to the northeast. All right, so we can go ahead and show you the direction it's moving. It's moving just like this. All right, so if it holds together, it's going to make it to the Batesville area. It'll cross I-74 and then head up to Brookville on the present track. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to hit right in downtown Brookville, but if you live around Brookville, I'd want to be taking extra caution now. If you live in the south of Brookville in Franklin County, closer to Batesville, you definitely want to be taking cover because this is definitely a storm that has rotation in it, and that rotation is enough that it could cause a tornado to touch down. Okay. Let me go back to our velocity tool. We'll see if anything has changed with this. Once we check the velocity, we will once again go ahead and check debris detection. Okay, so there's the velocity tool. So we're still talking about south and west, or more due south of Batesville, the possibility of a tornado. Not a great signature for that. And debris detection, that says right there might be. I mean, okay, now I'm going to do a box zoom. We'll see it again. So those of you right in Napoleon, if you are in Napoleon, Indiana, not to the west of it or the east of it, not to the east of it, you are no longer in danger of a tornado touching down. Okay, so what we're looking at here is right here. This, see how all this is the red? Well, this stands out like this. Now, this is kind of the leading edge. This is that wind gust you often feel. Some thunderstorm comes in, and that's just lofting dust and leaves and that, and radar can pick that up. Okay, back in here to the southwest, here's Ballstown right here. Here's Route 229. So just to the west of 229 here in Ripley County, this may very well end up being a tornado on the ground. It's not a great signature, but it definitely could be. And if we take a look at velocity again, okay, and you can see right here where we saw that debris signature, we see the possibility of a tornado. Green indicating air moving toward Wilmington's radar, red air moving away from Wilmington's radar. And so right in here, 229, if you head north on 229 and you're heading to Ballstown, there's a big, kink in the road so that as you're driving along, you go to the right as you're heading north. Okay, that is where the tornado would be if there is a tornado on the ground. I can zoom in a little bit more here and see if our database has any other towns or communities there. And it does not. It's a pretty rural area. So what you see here, now, you know what? Let me do a quick query. Okay, now before I do the query, it's moved a little bit more to the north now. So right now, the danger of a tornado on the ground is in the Ballstown area, okay? And so if you're in Ballstown, you want to make sure that you take cover immediately, especially if it seems like the sky's getting threatening. It is. Take cover, and then we'll keep an eye on this until they decide to drop that tornado warning. Now, what I'm going to do, so Ballstown residents, be aware that you definitely have to take cover. If you're in Laughley or Morris, both in southeast Indiana, you definitely want to take cover there. Now, Batesville is there. You can see it. Let me put it full screen. You can see where Batesville is, kind of at the junction of two counties in I-74. South of that is Laughley, and if I've mispronounced that, the English pronunciation is Lowry, but I think Laughley Creek is something I'm aware of. So Laughley, Morris, and Batesville. You should be taking cover immediately because the storm that has rotation is moving to the north and east and could very well drop a tornado in your location. If we go and take another look at debris detection, it takes a second or two for this to load. We still see that right around Ballstown. We still see the possibility of some debris there. It's not a classic signature, but it's definitely a signature that something is going on around Ballstown with that possible tornado. And again, this is heading near to Laughley, over to Morris, and then it'll head on up toward Batesville, Indiana. So residents of Batesville, please be sure you take cover immediately. All right, so let me erase this and go to a different. Okay, so now we're looking at from Ballstown to Batesville. You see a lot of potential there for debris. A lot of that is just wind lofting debris in that shape. Usually when you have a tornado, the debris signature is more of a circular system. If we take a look again at velocity, we'll be able to pin down what's going on there. So we're going back to the velocity from debris detection now. And I tell you that still near Ballstown, okay, if you look here, this is the greatest chance right here of a little mini tornado on the ground near the Ballstown area. And the rest of this looks like it could be little leading edge spin-ups or just winds associated with that thunderstorm. But right now, even though we saw a lot of debris detection in the Batesville area, we do not see anything that makes me think a tornado's on the ground there at the present time. However, because we see that elsewhere, if you're near Batesville, if you're in Batesville, if you're in Morris, if you're in Lawfrey, please take cover immediately. This could be a very, very dangerous situation. Okay, so the tornado warning is still in effect. What I want to do here is, so we can kind of catch everybody up to what's going on. Do not know what happened there. Boy, well, let's see here. Let's go to another graphic and we'll go back to, there we go. Somehow we ended up in South America. Okay, we're back. Okay, so there is, right there is the thunderstorm that we've been talking about. And you can see it developing and moving north and eastward. Again, since we just had that little glitch, I'm going to have to turn off the lightning so we can see what's going on. Turn off the lightning. And I'm going to have to turn on the warnings because it looks like, okay, that's the box. Okay, here we go. Here's the tornado warning right here. Now, this tornado warning still in effect. Now, it takes a little while. Remember, the National Weather Service is as busy as we are, and so they can't instantly end a warning. They have to, first of all, make sure it's safe and there's nothing else going on. And if we zoom in here and turn the warnings back on, I think the warning may have just expired. Yeah, looks like the warning may have just expired. Okay, so the warning has been canceled according to this. I can zoom out one more time. And then I'm afraid that my time is about up. Okay, so the warning has been canceled. We no longer have a tornado warning in effect. There's no longer a severe thunderstorm warning in the Brookville area. I'm sorry to everybody that was hoping to ask a question via Facebook. I'm just not going to be able to do it tonight because we've got a shower closing in on Great American Ballpark, and Ashley Smith is trying to handle that. And so, again, no tornado warnings in effect. The tornado watch in our viewing area, there's one out to the west. The tornado watch continues till midnight. Please stay with us. If anything comes up, we'll let you know right away. But unfortunately, I have got to go back out there, and we've got to take care of the Reds and take care of some other stuff. So, tornado watch in effect till midnight. Right now, as of 7:46, there are no warnings in effect for the Fox 19 Now viewing area. That may change. If it does, you can join us on TV on Fox 19 Now. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. And sorry about all the confusion with everything going on weather-wise, but that's one of the reasons we're here with these streaming weather shows so that we can keep you informed whatever we do. So I apologize if you're planning on asking a question or making a comment. I just don't have time to get to them today. I'll be back tomorrow with more right here at 7:15. And so once again, thanks for joining me.